So I wanted you to see this because I received this in my mail, back in November. Today, just so you know, it's very early February in 2009. I want you to know what day it is today. Obama's just talking about the stimulus package and stuff like that. Anyway, so I live in British Columbia and I got this in my mail. TON, by the way, or TON, stands for Truck Owners Network. Oh, please, save me. So the myth that I'm getting at, the point I want to make, the part that just grated on my nerves. You go through this, it's, greening your business from General Motors. Please, hey GM, if you want to green your business, start at home. So here's this guy, David Peterson, Vice President, Corporate and Environmental Affairs, General Motors Canada. That's this paragraph that I'm reading here. In here he's talking about hydrogen fuel cells, ethanol fuel, all these different solutions that are completely ridiculous. There's so many reasons why a hydrogen-powered car is a ridiculous idea. If it worked, I'd be on board. But they don't. I mean, you can make a hydrogen-powered car, and you can put it on the road, and you can get your TV cameras, and you can show everybody this wonderful hydrogen-powered car. What they don't tell you is where they get the hydrogen from. 95% of hydrogen produced today that you can buy comes from natural gas. It doesn't come from splitting water in half, although you can make it that way. It's far too expensive to make it that way. You also need all of the additional infrastructure. You have to store that hydrogen. You have to ship that hydrogen. You have to try to hang on to it. Hydrogen is the smallest molecule we know. It'll leak out of anything, given the opportunity. You try, just for fun, if you get a balloon and blow it up, in the morning you'll see it's a little smaller. That's because the nitrogen likes to get out through the rubber. Try that with hydrogen. By tomorrow morning there'll be nothing left. It just leaks and permeates through everything. Hydrogen vehicles are a ridiculous solution. The only thing that they bring, and the myth that I'm trying to get at here, is that they are promoting hydrogen-powered cars. David Peterson, Vice President of Environmental and Corporate Affairs for Canada, is promoting hydrogen-powered vehicles. Obviously, the qualifications for becoming the Vice President of Environmental and Corporate and Environmental Affairs for General Motors Canada, the qualification for that appears to be that you can spell the word environmental. I don't know where they get off. I don't know where General Motors gets the idea that this is okay, that we're going to fall for these solutions anymore by putting green crap on a hammer. Please, guys, you can do better. You made electric vehicles before. You can do it again. Stop talking, and build the cars. It's not that hard. I can do it. Show me up. I'd love it. You can do a way better job than I ever did. The myth is that car companies will not talk about the solutions that are real. The solutions that I can do, the solutions that you can do if you simply choose to do it. As I said before, find yourself a mechanic. He'd love the opportunity. If he doesn't, go next door. You will find a mechanic that'll do this for you. It isn't hard. You can drive an electric vehicle if you want one. The long-term repercussions of this are profound. One of the things about my vehicle is, so let me give you the costs. So I paid $7,000 for my S10. Perfectly working S10, with a motor, by the way. Worked fine, but I pulled the motor out. That cost me $7,000. You saw the vehicle, it's in pretty good shape. It's already 6 or 8 or 9 years old now, or more, 10 maybe. I then bought the conversion kit for $14,000. That's Canadian, by the way. In US dollars, that would be something like $10,000 today. I'm not sure the conversion rate. The conversion kit included everything that you've seen, except the batteries. So the charger, the motor controller, the aluminum boxes that the batteries are in, the wires, everything. Everything that you saw, everything that I've shown you was in the kit, except the batteries. The batteries was another $3,700. So everything included, that vehicle cost me $26,000 odd. It will cost me nothing to maintain it. Actually, no, it'll cost me $3.20 a month for distilled water to put in the batteries. I'm not going to get oil changes. I'm not going to get tune-ups or spark plugs or radiators or any of the other junk that's on there. It's not there to break. My repair bill is going to be essentially non-existent. Now, sure, I could still bump into something and break something. That's, of course, true, but assuming I don't, the repairs are really non-existent. The kit that I bought, the $14,000 kit, I'm going to have that for the rest of my life. Probably. The truck will rust. In 5 or 10 years it's going to look horrible. Well, I'm going to pick up my electric conversion kit and I'm going to move it into a new vehicle. Maybe I'll need a different aluminum box to fit the batteries. Maybe by then lithium-ion batteries will be cheaper and I'll be able to afford them. That's my hope, by the way, is that by the time the batteries I have now wear out, I'll be able to afford the lithium-ions. It's an easy conversion. Pull out the lead, put in the lithium. There you go, start driving, but go a lot further. So that's my plan. So the resources required to run an electric vehicle are so profoundly below what it takes to run a gasoline vehicle in repairs and all the other things. The electric motor in my car, well, I could burn it. It's possible for me to do that. I could blow brushes or I could blow the bearings. I mean, that's all possible that I'll have to repair that stuff. But the reality is electric motors have a very long service life. Personally, I've seen electric motors that are 100 years old. Maybe that was rare. But there's no reason why that electric motor won't last 50 or 60 years. The hybrid cars that they're proposing, like from this Yahoo here, sorry, I shouldn't have called you a Yahoo, David, but I couldn't help myself. The hybrids are immensely complex vehicles. Now, I'm personally fascinated with, well, not fascinated, but I'm impressed. They're neat vehicles. You take a gasoline engine and you make electricity. You can do that fairly inexpensively because you need a smaller gasoline engine, a simpler gasoline engine, always running at pretty much the same speed because it's not turning the tires, it's turning a generator. The generator then powers an electric system to run the car. These are really cool technologies. But if you think a hybrid car is somehow better or more efficient than an electric, it's simply not true. You still have a 30% gasoline engine making electricity. I have batteries that are nearly 100% efficient. Then you've got a gasoline engine to run the generator. You then have an electric system to run all the things that make the car go. You've then got a regenerative braking system to reclaim energy back when you decelerate. And then you've got the complexity of tying all of this stuff together to make it work. They're amazing, but they are so massively complicated. I can't imagine, I mean, you're going to need a PhD to get these things fixed. What they do for society is better than what a gas car does for society. That's true. However, what they do for the car companies far outweighs any of that stuff. These suckers are going to break. Just you watch. It is my personal belief that the real reason that General Motors crushed those EV1s, and I've had lots of people agree with me about this, they didn't do it because they weren't economical. One of the claims that General Motors made. General Motors was offered a buyout. They were shown a check to buy those EV1s, and they crushed them anyway. They crushed the cars, they crushed the nickel metal hydride battery factory, they did everything they could to wipe these cars off the planet. Then they claimed that they did it because they weren't economical. If they weren't economical, they would have cashed the check. There's no way, I mean, if I were to make this and found that I couldn't make it economically, but you were willing to pay me $10,000 for it or whatever, believe me, I'd take the 10,000 bucks. I may take a loss, but at least I got your money. So you can't tell me they're not economical. The only reason that I can imagine that they crushed those vehicles was because after 3 years of them driving around Southern California, they realized that nobody had come in for repair work.